Here's a scary thought. Nearly 70% of car owners don't even know what a PCV valve is. And yet, this tiny, overlooked part is responsible for preventing catastrophic engine damage. Studies show that a clogged or failing PCV valve can increase oil consumption by up to 500%, choke your fuel economy, and even shorten your engine's life by tens of thousands of miles. In today's video, we're breaking down the symptoms of a bad PCV valve. The subtle signs most drivers miss until it's too late. Stick with me because catching these early could save your engine and your wallet. But before we jump in, let's quickly understand what the PCV valve does. PCV stands for positive crankcase ventilation. It's a small but critical valve that recycles harmful gases from the crankcase back into the intake manifold, where they're burned off instead of building pressure inside your engine. When it's working properly, it keeps your engine efficient, clean, and protected. But when it fails, you'll see symptoms ranging from mild annoyances to catastrophic engine damage. Let's go through them one by one, starting with the least common. Symptom 1. Rough idle. Imagine sitting at a red light, engine running, but instead of a steady hum, the car starts shaking and vibrating like it's gasping for air. That's what happens when the PCV valve gets stuck open or closed. It disrupts the delicate air-fuel mixture. Drivers often blame dirty injectors or spark plugs, but the truth might be that a small valve is throwing everything off. Now here's the danger. When the idle gets rough, the vibration doesn't just annoy you. It puts extra stress on engine mounts, belts, and other components that were never designed to withstand constant shaking. Ignore it long enough, and you'll be chasing problems all over the car. And if that rough idle keeps up, it eventually snowballs into something even more noticeable. Symptom 2. Engine misfires. When the PCV valve isn't doing its job, it lets in air that the engine never measured. That throws off the mixture, and suddenly the spark plugs can't ignite the fuel the way they should. The result? Misfires. You'll feel jerks and stumbles when you try to accelerate, almost like the engine's tripping over itself. Here's the expensive part. Every misfire sends unburned fuel into your exhaust system, and that fuel overheats the catalytic converter and potentially damages it, which can cost you over $1,000 in repairs. Misfiring isn't just annoying, it's a warning flare. And if you don't catch it, pressure starts building where it shouldn't, showing up in a much messier way. Symptom 3. Oil leaks. A clogged PCV valve traps pressure inside the crankcase. With nowhere else to go, that pressure forces oil past gaskets and seals, creating leaks around the valve cover, oil pan, or even the rear main seal. You'll spot oil spots on the driveway or smell it burning on hot engine parts. Here's the trick. Many people spend hundreds replacing gaskets, but if the PCV valve is still blocked, the leaks just keep coming back. And once that oil escapes, it's not just dripping outside, it's also cooking inside, slowly forming something that's even harder to clean. Symptom 4. Sludge buildups. When vapors can't escape through the PCV valve, they mix with oil inside the engine, forming thick, tar-like sludge. That sludge clings to everything: lifters, timing components, and oil passages. It's like cholesterol clogging arteries, cutting off the flow where it's needed most. Sludge is a nightmare to fix. Cleaning it out often means tearing down the engine, a repair that can cost more than the car itself. And if the engine's choking on sludge, don't expect it to perform well. In fact, you'll notice the car struggling in the very place you rely on it most, on the open road when you step on the gas. Symptom 5. Poor acceleration. You push the pedal, expecting the car to surge forward, but instead it lags, slow to respond, like it's dragging an invisible weight. That's what happens when the air-fuel mixture is constantly off thanks to a failing PCV valve. The engine simply can't deliver the power you're asking for. It doesn't stop at frustration. Poor acceleration means your transmission is working harder, sensors are misreading, and your fuel system is under constant strain. And once your car feels weak under load, it doesn't take much for it to completely give up, sometimes right in the middle of traffic. Before we dive into the next symptoms that can drain your wallet fast, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. It's the easiest way to stay ahead of costly car troubles. Symptom 6. Engine stalling. One of the scariest side effects of a stuck PCV valve is sudden stalling. You're coasting to a stop or sitting at idle, and the engine just dies. That's because a bad valve creates a massive vacuum leak, leaving your engine gasping for stability. The danger here isn't just inconvenience, it's safety. Losing power steering or brakes in the middle of a turn or an intersection can turn dangerous quickly. And while you may get it restarted, the root issue doesn't go away. In fact, it's about to start draining your wallet even faster, and you'll notice it where it hurts the most, inside your oil pan. Symptom 7. Increased oil consumption. You top off the oil, drive a few hundred miles, and suddenly the dipstick is low again. No puddles under the car, no visible leaks, and you wonder where it is going. A bad PCV valve can actually pull oil mist into the intake, burning it up inside the cylinders. That's why you're constantly feeding the engine but never seeing the drips. The problem is, burning oil leaves behind carbon deposits on pistons, valves, and spark plugs, setting the stage for bigger failures. You'll spend money on quarts of oil, but the damage happening inside will cost you far more. And as this hidden oil consumption continues, the engine will soon make its frustration known in a way you can actually hear. Symptom 8. Hissing or whistling noise. A faulty PCV valve often creates strange noises in the engine bay, like a hiss or whistle. That sound is air being forced through cracks or hoses under unnatural pressure. It's basically a vacuum leak, but not the kind you can ignore. Many drivers chase the sound around, never realizing it's that tiny valve causing the chaos. While the sound itself might not hurt your ears, it's a warning sign that unmetered air is messing with your engine's balance. Left unchecked, this imbalance confuses your ECU, and soon, the car's onboard computer will throw up its most dreaded warning. Symptom 9. Check engine light. When the PCV valve starts failing, your engine control unit quickly realizes the numbers don't add up. Air-fuel ratios drift off, and sensors report trouble, resulting in a glowing orange check engine light staring back at you. Codes like lean condition or random misfires often point toward the PCV system. The light itself won't tell you much. You'll need a scan tool. But here's the danger. Ignore it, and you'll start replacing sensors, coils, and injectors for no reason. Meanwhile, the real culprit continues to operate in silence, and your spark plugs begin to show you the damage firsthand. Symptom 10. Foul spark plugs. Pull a spark plug and see if it's covered in black, oily residue. That's a telltale sign oil is sneaking in through a bad PCV valve. Once plugs get fouled, they can't fire cleanly, leading to weak sparks, rough driving, and wasted fuel. The bigger risk is that fouled plugs also shorten coil life, and misfires stack up quickly. Replacing plugs may help temporarily, but until the PCV issue is solved, the cycle repeats. And speaking of wasted fuel, you'll feel the effects at the pump faster than you think. If you've been watching this far, that tells me you care about keeping your car in top shape. So go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe. You'll never miss the tips that could save your engine and your money. Symptom 11. Poor fuel economy. Every trip to the gas station feels like it comes sooner than the last. That's because a bad PCV valve disrupts combustion, forcing the engine to burn fuel inefficiently. Sometimes it runs rich, sometimes lean, but either way, you're paying more for less mileage. Poor fuel economy doesn't just hit your wallet. It means higher emissions and the risk of failing inspections. And once fuel efficiency drops, the engine's stability takes a hit too. That's when drivers start noticing something even harder to ignore: the heartbeat of the engine itself turning erratic. Symptom 12. Unstable idling. With a failing PCV valve, your engine may rev up and down unpredictably, almost like it's searching for balance but never finding it. You'll feel the RPMs bounce, hear the engine surge, then stumble. It's unsettling, and it makes every stoplight feel like a gamble. This erratic behavior stresses sensors, such as the idle air control valve and mass airflow sensor, wearing them out faster than they should. And when your engine struggles to idle properly, the next problem shows up the moment you twist the key to start the car. Symptom 13. Difficulty starting. You crank the key, but the engine hesitates. Sometimes it takes several tries before it catches. That's because a clogged PCV valve can flood the intake with oil vapors, especially after the car has been sitting. Cold mornings make it even worse, leaving you with frustrating, drawn-out starts. This constant hard starting takes a toll on the battery and starter motor, slowly wearing them down. And once combustion struggles to fire off cleanly, you'll see the most obvious and embarrassing symptom appear right out of your tailpipe. Symptom 14. White smoke from exhaust. Nothing grabs attention like thick, white, or bluish smoke puffing out of the exhaust. When the PCV valve fails, oil gets sucked into the cylinders and burns alongside the fuel. To anyone watching, it looks like your engine is on its last legs. But it's not just about appearances. Burning oil this way clogs catalytic converters and guarantees an emissions test failure. And as that smoke pours out the back, inside the engine, oil is spreading into places it should never be, leading to the most destructive symptom of all. Symptom 15. Oil in intake tracks. Perhaps the most alarming sign of a failed PCV valve is oil coating your intake hoses, throttle body, and manifold. This reduces airflow efficiency, gunks up sensors, and causes severe carbon buildup inside the engine. If ignored, oil in the intake tracks accelerates wear on pistons, valves, and turbos. It's the ultimate red flag. By this stage, your small $20 part could turn into a $4,000 repair bill. And there you have it. The 15 signs your PCV valve is failing, from the subtle to the catastrophic. Catch it early, and it's one of the cheapest fixes you'll ever make. Miss it, and you could be staring down an engine rebuild. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button. It helps other drivers spot these problems before it's too late. Subscribe for more mechanic-level insights, and drop a comment below. Which of these symptoms have you seen in your own car?